That was so smooth.
You were muted and by yourself. Hi,
I
everybody.
know. What
Thank
can
you
I
for
say?
joining
Hello,
tonight. John's he's on point tonight. So it's
like
gonna
I'm
be a fun
turning
evening.
red.
Welcome
Welcome.
to January's live stream of Talking Trains with John and Michelle.
Yeah, no, it's Michelle and John. I put
Oh,
you
is it?
on first.
Oh, Michelle and John. Okay.
Well, yeah, you're more important, so I put you on first. I do
So
want to welcome everybody. It's January 19th. It's 4:01 now. And I don't know about where you are, Michelle, but here it's
5:01.
actually
Somebody's
kind
probably
of a nice day.
6:01.
Yeah.
Oh, are you kidding? Today's an ice sheet. I chose snow and I kind of jinxed myself because we've got probably 6 inches of snow and then ice on top of it today.
Oh, that's
So
wonderful.
my windshield had a good 1/8 inch of ice I had to try to scrape off. It took like 15 minutes to get home from work today. Scraping,
I try to
scraping.
stay out of weather like that as much as possible.
Well, you live in California, so it shouldn't happen to you too much.
Well, right, because living in California, I have a choice, right? Because I can drive to Donner Pass and have probably as much snow as you have, but I choose to stay here because I don't like cold.
Your coast.
Yeah,
So, well,
I'm wimpy that way.
well, do you
So
have some announcements you want to talk about, or I was going to
well,
talk about train shows, or
you've been busy,
yes.
so I want to hear about what you've been doing because we come on every month, and I always kind of joke about it, but it's true. I haven't talked to you since the last time we were
It's
on
honestly
here,
true.
right?
I didn't
I
talk to
mean,
John from the last show till about 2 hours ago.
right. So so I need to catch up on what you've been doing because I know you had another epic trip. How long were you gone?
I was just gone a week and a day. I just crammed a lot in there.
Oh, yeah, it seemed like longer than that. So,
Yeah, because I did a lot of things. A lot of things. I was up early and out late every night, so it was
wow.
fun.
Yeah. I know what that's like. That's what we did that whole time we were on the trip that we took out to your area. So,
Yep. Well, tonight, once we do announcements and stuff, I put together a piece about rail fanning the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so y'all are gonna get to suffer through that. So,
yeah.
and then
No,
we have
very
a
cool
special
though.
guest tonight. At the end, we have photographer Derek Brown, who is a friend of mine, and actually, my picture back here is a Derek Brown photo, and so is this one. That was a gift from him. So, you guys have been seeing his work for a long time. So
Did you
he's gonna
mention before? Sorry, did you
yeah.
mention before, Michelle, that he took those pictures? Because I didn't remember. Did
I
you?
I probably just said my friend took him. I don't know. The first time I probably said Derek Brown, and then after that I was like,
Okay.
"And my friend," because he's my friend, and so
How
I
do you
tend
know
to say
that? Right? How do you know Derek? Is he a member at the museum or?
that. No, he's a local photographer, rail fan. I see him at train shows. Facebook. I see his
Okay.
stuff every day on Facebook. It's wonderful, and so we just have been friends for a while. So yeah.
Well,
Um,
I'll have some questions for him too. Like he must also know John, right?
Oh yeah, uh-huh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
Okay.
community of railfan photographers in this region. They're pretty good, and he's got another friend named Jeremy Frankovus who's really good too. So there's like 3 amazing photographers right here in our region. So, yeah,
And
so
they
we'll get
also
him
have
on.
you.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm the queen of the cell phone photo. So
Well, but they're good.
sometimes it's because I got a new phone. I got a phone with a decent camera finally. That took a while. So
Well, I always use Michelle's pictures, or maybe in this case, I took a still off of your video to make our thumbnail. I hope you don't
okay.
mind. I
No,
just
I
saw it and I
never do.
thought, oh, yeah, I thought that was relevant. If I had
Yeah.
thought of it sooner and had known about Derek's photos, I would have asked him if I could have used one of his like we did with John's last time.
Well, we actually could have done that had I actually asked Derek when I planned to, like, 3 weeks ago, and then I totally
Oh,
spaced it, and I asked him, like, yesterday. So, bless
wow.
Derek for coming on because I didn't give him much time, and he said yes, and I'm so glad he did and is coming on tonight. So,
Well,
I
I'm
got
glad you,
totally distracted and didn't get him asked. That's what I'd planned to ask about snow, but I just
I'm
didn't get it
glad
done.
you're on top of everything there.
I'm super organized this month, I tell ya. So
So, sounds like me. I've been doing so much other stuff that I I almost didn't even realize it was time for the show already. This month I was kind of like, oh, I didn't say it this way. I said, oh, shoot. That's the part that was different. We have a show this week.
I didn't say that, but yesterday I went, the show's tomorrow. Oh no, I forgot to call Derek. So that's how my day went.
Yeah.
So
Well, we
yeah.
have plenty to talk about too, because one of the things that I've been working on, and I'm hoping that somebody who's on the planning committee for this will call in later so that we can discuss it just briefly, is that operations and layout design weekend event that we're doing in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
That's depending what happens. We have a planning meeting tonight for that event. And right now, as I'm speaking to you, the plan is to have a fully hybrid event on Sunday, the 6th of next month. And I don't know that this has ever been done before. So I'm pretty excited about that. The only thing is, I don't know, because right now, with this Omicron thing, the cases of COVID are like really, really way up there. And I know that one of our counties in my region here actually has shut down that kind of event. And I don't know if my county is going to do that or not. If they
Okay.
do, we won't be able to have the thing live and in person. If they don't, we will have the opportunity. So anyway, so that's one of the things that I'm pretty excited about. We've been working really hard planning it, and
Yeah.
it should be a great event. The sign-ups are already available, which I should probably find the,
You
I need
should
to find
post a
the link
link
for
for
this.
that.
Exactly.
That would
And I
be
think
great.
I'm right. I'm not sure, but I think I'm working without our top secret producer. At least I haven't seen her post anything, or else she would probably be
She would have
posting the
had the
link
link
to
on
the,
already, so we know she's not here.
yeah. So
It would have been up there.
maybe we'll post it later. Yeah. So
Okay.
anyway, I see somebody is calling in, and it's someone that I wanted to bring
Okay.
in the beginning of the show anyway. Is that okay with you, Michelle, if I bring him
Let's
on?
do it. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Why, hello there, Sparky 107 107.
Hi.
We know
How you
you.
doing, John and Michelle?
What's up,
Hello.
man?
You can't tell you guys haven't talked for like a month. You just meshed right together.
Oh, well, Michelle's one of those people that I probably could go without talking to for a year, and it would be like we were talking every day.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's how
so
my friendships work, because sometimes I get busy and I like, you gotta be good with that with me because that's how it's probably
yeah.
gonna be sometimes.
Okay, I haven't talked to John in over a month either. So
Oh, there you go.
Well,
Okay.
right. And actually, Dave, we're kind of like that too. I mean, I was just thinking of you recently. I think it was either today or yesterday, thinking I haven't talked to him in a while. I wonder how he's doing. And here you are.
as long as you had pants on.
Okay, I'm not sure what that means, but that's yes, I do. Thank you very much. Oh, I see what you're saying. I never mind.
Yeah.
Just I don't think that way,
Away from it wasn't meant the way you thought.
No.
Oh
How
man.
soon he forgets, eh? That's probably good anyway. So
Yeah, I don't think I was sitting on the can, Dave. So you're safe.
oh, there you go.
So Dave, I thoroughly enjoyed getting to talk to everybody on Christmas. Your show was
Oh,
fantastic. So
that's
thank you
what I'm
for
calling in
doing that.
about. I just wanted to
Okay.
come on here real quick and interrupt your show as fast as I could, type thing. But
That's awesome.
John always takes part. This is my third year that I did the Christmas special on Christmas Day, and John's always helped me out. Did it again this year. John, I just want to thank you very much for helping out again and taking control a bit for, I think you were on for a good 45 minutes there. So you're a good friend, good help, and good leader in the community and YouTube as well too. But again, I just want to say thanks for helping out. And Michelle, this was your first year helping me out with it, and went together really good. And I've learned something this year. I got to say that I always give all these gifts and stuff away from my humble abode type thing. So if people wanted to help out, they always mailed it to me. And this year I had quite a few people, including you both, do it from your own webcams type thing. So John gave away his DVDs. You gave away your caboose and your 3 tank cars there, and you guys did it and mailed them and everything else. And there was a couple of other people that did that too. And I think going forward for the Christmas Day live stream, instead of having people mail me stuff and me doing it for 4 hours, I can still do it for 4 hours. I can host the event for sure. but I really enjoyed other people coming on and opening up a broad new avenue of giving away things, and other people in the community taking part in doing that also. So again,
Thank you.
thanking both of you guys for helping me out that way, and opening the door. And it's a learning experience for sure. So a lot of new stuff this year, I'll tell you.
It was
Well,
fun.
I'm really glad that you did it. And I was sad that I missed you, Michelle, but I had other stuff I had to get to. And
You left
my
right when I
understanding is
showed up. I know how
Yeah.
you were. Like he literally left
yeah,
right when I came in.
trying to avoid you at all costs.
Yeah, it's all right. Merry Christmas to you too.
Yeah.
Right. That's what you know, that time when I met you in Utah, I actually saw you a couple hours before that, but I avoided you. And then when I finally did see you, I just had no choice. I had to go down that hall. So
Yeah, and you were stuck.
You must have been holding some treats or something. So, or a coffee, anyway. So.
I would actually like to thank you, Dave, for doing that show, because we've talked off camera about it, and I do think that giving people something positive to do, especially during the holidays, can make a difference in someone's life. And I mean, yeah, it's cool to hang out and we have a good time doing it, but might have even saved a life. So
Maybe, like I said, that's the main reason why I do it, is because of stuff that's happened in my past, and I was alone for one Christmas, and the feeling shouldn't be there and like you said, even if it helped one person, I think it accomplished something in that means then. But we had 1,027 people during that live stream and it went on for 4 hours and 1 minute. So John, I made sure we didn't break our record. We still got it by 6 minutes. So
That's awesome. That's great. 1,000 people got to celebrate Christmas together. That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
And if I could just find it here, one of the biggest things I thought was awesome, like the way I hold those contests, I'm pretty sure everybody knows now, is pick a number in between, say 1 and 100, put some letters in front of it type thing. But we had 20,367 comments in those 4 hours. And I just think that's just unbelievable. Just to watch the chat go as good as it was. I've watched it about 5 times since, and the community, the people in the chat, were all having a good time. There was little conversations going off on the side, and when those contests were going, it was kind of funny to actually watch some of the conversations go through part of the contest. Like, so it's just, I guess the biggest thing is, like, I got to say is I got to thank everybody, you guys, for helping out, but everybody, all the people that viewed, took part, helped out, came and hung out for the 4 hours. I just got to say again to everybody, thank you. You made my day.
Well, thank you for doing it.
Cool.
Was I the only person that picked like geeky numbers, like nerdy numbers for a reason?
Well, I think people caught on by the time you got to your last one. So.
I think so too. So that one probably wasn't too hard to guess. So anyway, okay. Well, thank you so much. We'll be there again next year.
Yeah. So everybody here in the chat and watching later and everything else, just again, thanks to the community for helping out and making Christmas a wonderful day for everybody. So.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I can see that there were people in our chat here today that were there making comments.
Yeah, they're already guessing numbers over there, but nobody guessed my final number. So obviously,
maybe we should pick a number just for old time's sake, just a number in between 1 and 100, guys, and you got to start with TSG.
In the chat, y'all need to guess, and we'll send you some.
Yeah, go. Michelle said she'll send you something.
Go, Amelia. You'll get a tribble.
There you go.
I still have a lot of those left over. So
as soon as he kicks me off the screen, the contest is done. I don't have the chat up. I'm sorry. I've just got StreamYards up tonight, and I've got a couple things going on in the house. So I'm just here to pop in, say thanks to you guys. Thanks to everybody.
Cool.
Be safe. Be happy.
Somebody guessed the number already.
Really?
Yeah. He put TSG 42. He was evidently live.
Don wins. Yeah.
Don wins. It's the answer to life, the universe, and everything.
So you got himself a tribble.
You got a tribble if you send me your address.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay, I got stuff here that I could give away too, actually.
Oh, well, you can do another contest.
We're turning our show into a contest.
That's up to you.
Some of this stuff is really good too. These are some N scale things with those really good couplers, the Arnold Rapido couplers. Yeah, maybe we won't give those away.
Well, you started it now. You're going to have to.
Yeah.
Okay, we should move on because we do have
Oh.
other
Yes, we'll
stuff
move
to
on.
do.
Thanks, Dave.
Sorry, guys.
We'll
I'll be
see
the
you.
mom.
Thanks,
and move
everybody,
us on.
and
Thanks,
happy
Dave.
2022.
Yep.
You too.
See you soon. Oh, he's gonna make himself disappear. There we go. So anyway, as you were saying,
That's too funny. I was going
Yeah.
to talk through some train shows coming up real quick so I don't forget.
Oh,
Amherst
okay.
is next weekend, and I will be there. So if anybody is going to be there, again, I say, come say hi to me. Don't be shy, and don't, unless you really don't, maybe don't want to talk to me, that's fine. But don't be a shy person. Be like, oh, I saw you, but I didn't talk to you, because I don't like that. Just come talk to me. Um, so Amherst, I'll be there. The Rocky Mountain Train Show, if you want to come to Denver for a train show, is April the first weekend. I think it's the second and third, whatever the Saturday, Sunday is. And then the Big Cheyenne Train Show, the Sherman Hill Show, is in May. It's the third weekend. And I'm sorry I didn't write down the dates. I don't have a calendar in front of me to look it up, but it's the third weekend of May. And that one, if COVID is good, you might see the Steam Shop. If not, you'll definitely see the depot and the train show and all sorts of other things too. So that's my local shows. What do you have, John?
Just that SIG meet that I was talking about. Well, I call it the SIG meet because basically it's the people from the layout design special interest group and the operations special interest group.
Okay.
All the
so
people
it's
that
all of them.
organize this thing are involved in both of those. And
So it should be all
there's
the
some
SIGs. It's the all the SIG show.
maybe that that wouldn't be a bad idea. It would probably make for a bigger variety of presentations too, actually, because there are all kinds of interesting SIGs. So, but
Okay.
we are going to have someone who's going to come on later from the planning committee to talk briefly about that. And
Okay.
I'm waiting for him. I saw him show up in our basement, backstage.
Yeah.
But it looked like he was having trouble with his webcam or something. So maybe once he gets
okay.
that sorted out, we can bring him on. But in the meantime, I do want to move on to what you wanted
Okay.
to talk about, because you had some specific stuff that you wanted to talk about before we
Yeah,
get to
and
the
we can
trains in the
stop at
snow.
any point in it and bring him on, especially at the beginning here, the first stuff I'm going to talk about. So
Okay.
so if you want to bring that up, I'll go through. So we're going to talk about my trip to Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I just threw all the pictures in a PowerPoint because it works better in StreamYards. So the first thing I'm going to talk about, though, whenever John brings up the slides, is
Oh,
the
this
NMRA.
one?
That one. So we have a slide. Do you love my cover slide? I'm super creative.
Yeah, that's amazing. What do you want to say about the NMRA?
I kind of actually for the first time experienced what the NMRA is like. I finally went to a club that was NMRA based to a meeting and a division and a whole like bigger division, and I finally understood how clubs work through the NMRA and how NMRA supports clubs and vice versa, and I saw it all in action, and that was new to me because we don't have an NMRA club in Northern Colorado. We have clubs, but they're not NMRA clubs and they're not super involved at all. There may be a member here or there or something. And so when I went to Texas, I think I learned more about modeling on this trip in all aspects of it, from the NMRA to operations, than any other trip I've taken. So it was really interesting. I got a lot of rail fanning in too, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight, because next month we're going to talk about the operations stuff. Just the heads up for everybody. Next month is all about ops. Why you do it, what you do, why you like it, what you don't like. My experiences were kind of funny, so we'll go through that. So I went to the Cowcatchers division. It's at the Texas and Western, and I went to their layout and in their building, and went to a division meeting, and they had me as the speaker, and it was wonderful. So I took this group shot with them. I always take a selfie with the crowd, poor people. But their layout is really based around Tower 55 in Fort Worth, which I thought was really cool. So they have a model of it ready to roll when they get their layout fully scenicked up. So that was fun. And then I went out and did see Tower 55, but I don't really have a photo that turned out well. So, but it was fun to go see that. And I have a video. Can you play?
It? Yeah. Did you recognize the tower when you saw it?
It's really hard to see because there's so many roads that go over it and around it, and it's like tucked back in there. And so there's not really a good vantage point. So we were where the big boy parked. And so we could kind of see it, but it was really hard to get down there. So I didn't add any pictures because it's like, well, here's some dirt and here's some rail, and way down there's a tower.
Right.
So I
So
do have
which video should I bring up? The one that
the one
has
with the building. The one with the building. Can
Okay.
you kind of see the? Yeah. So
Yep,
this
I
is
can see
this
it.
is their club. This is where their club meets. I thought it was really cool, so I wanted to show you. Look at the signals.
Here at the Texas Western Model Railroad Club. I love that they have signals that work.
I
Now,
like the
if we
narration.
only do you love my narration? I'm super spot on with that. But it was cool because I knew instantly that I turned in the right spot
Uh-huh.
when I got there. I just
Yeah.
thought it was really fun. So I just thought I'd show
That is cool.
everybody what they have a really nice property where they meet. So
Yeah,
very nice
that
people.
looks really cool.
Okay, back
Excellent.
to the PowerPoint. We'll keep rail fanning. So why was I in Texas? This is why I went to Texas. I added everything else on around this. So the first day I went down there happened to be their division meeting day. And so that worked out for me to go speak. But then that was a Saturday. Then the next day was Sunday. And Sunday through Tuesday, I did this. This is the Colorado booth at the American Bus Association convention. And this is Colorado Tourism. And I met with tour operators, and I'm building business for bus tours to come to Greeley and into Colorado. And so on here, there's a big map. If you can see behind where we're standing, this huge map that we have. And so people come up and they're like, how do I visit Colorado? And we show them on the map, well, here's the trains you ride, and kind of draw the roads out for them. And so they have a good idea of what they're doing. So this is what I do. So I spent 3 days at the Gaylord doing convention work, which is very, very tiring. Lots and lots of appointments with people. So I just thought I'd share that so you could know why I was there. I've been doing this for 10 years. My very first American Bus Association was also at the Gaylord in Texas. So
Cool.
And now I have business, so it's good. So now we're building more business. The Rocky Mountaineer is adding a lot of trips to the museum at the beginning on tours. They're coming to see our museum, the Colorado Model Railroad Museum, and then they get on the Rocky Mountaineer the next day and take off. So that's the business I built this year. Okay, so I was in Saginaw, Texas. Mike Mackey, who is from the Cowcatcher division, he asked if I wanted to go out rail fanning for a day, and I'm like, I never say no to that. So we went to Saginaw, and it was really funny. When I was in college, I worked at a company called Universal Forest Products here in Windsor, and that's where I would ride our short line, the Great Western. I handled all the rail inventory, and we even had a little switcher engine in the yard, and so I was all over railroad, and I would climb up on the cars and check the inventory, and I just was really around railroad and had no clue that this would be my destiny. But one of our company had an office in Saginaw, Texas, and I never knew where that was. And I'm like, we're in Saginaw. There has to be a Universal Forest Products there. We need to find Universal Forest Products. And Mike's like, oh, we'll find it. We'll just follow the rail. So we run around that huge grain elevator up in the corner here. Those structures are massive, just huge. And so we were driving behind this one, and I made a video on my Facebook page and on my YouTube channel if you want to go look at all of it. I was just going to kind of quickly go through. But there is a switcher, this top one, there's a switcher here that's still painted Rio Grande, but we couldn't get close enough to actually get a good photo, but it's there.
Oh.
So if there's something for you to go find that Rio Grande switcher in Saginaw. And then here's another look at it from the other side, another industry. So there's these massive elevators and towers along the rail here. And of course, Universal Forest Products, I found it. So the Saginaw building.
Yeah.
So then we went to their depot in Saginaw, and they do an event once a year where they camp at their depot because the diamond is right there. The Saginaw Diamond sits right behind their Chamber of Commerce, which is the old depot building. And they have this event once a year where you can camp and watch trains for 24 hours. I thought that sounded fantastic. What a great event. So I have a video of this run by. Should we watch it? This is a photo from
Yeah.
it. Okay, that's
This
the
is
other
the
video
one-
I have up there for you.
Yeah, this is the one that I took the still off of for our thumbnail for this stream today.
Yeah.
So here it comes.
Sorry for my cell phone abilities.
I like the sun. The light on this video is really nice.
I was actually in the right place for once.
Well, kind of. You see how it's shaded on this side, but the front looks real nice. Sorry, I don't
That's
want I don't want you to
okay.
think it was too good, Michelle.
Yeah, I know. I've never gotten that. You did say hi. Did you hear it?
I heard it. Yeah.
So here's the diamond right here. It's about to pop it. Hear it. That's a great sound. So I'm standing on grass, and the whole area to my right and behind me is all grass, and that's where they camp. How fun would that
Okay,
be?
cool.
All night long, you'd hear that.
Yeah,
For some
that's
people,
really
that would
cool.
probably be
And
torturous.
I have to say though that, and I think I was the first person to comment this on the post of that you put onto Facebook, that's one of my favorite noises, the sound of a train going over a diamond
You
like
said
that, because it's so rhythmic,
It's a
you
different
know?
rhythm, but it's more than you expect. It's like 4 things in a row. It's like da 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 da, and it's a little different. I don't know how to describe it.
It's a real
So,
kerchunk sound to me.
yeah, a kerchunk,
Ka-chunk,
kerchunk.
ka-chunk, ka-chunk,
We're
right?
gonna come. Yeah, we're gonna be known as the show with the great sound effect sounds now.
Right?
Yeah,
So I have another one. Should I go back to the
go back
slideshow
to the
or
slides. Yeah.
this one? Okay.
So, yeah, because now I went to the Texas and Western, and this is the Fort Worth and Western Railroad.
Uh-huh.
So, I can hear this. I'm sorry. I keep chat on my phone so I can answer, but for some reason the volume comes on by itself sometimes. So this is an interesting railroad. You probably can't read it on the screen, but that one says tarantula. And that's the
Tarantula.
name of that locomotive. These locomotives have names right here, and that's the name
I
of that
see.
locomotive. Do you see that? So this is a short line right there in Fort Worth, and Mike took me to see this. And then here's another one, which I can't read it on my screen, and I can't remember what it is, but here's a name and here's a name. Can you read
Yeah,
them?
I'm
My
trying to
screen's too
see.
small.
Yeah.
But that's what they. So I just thought that was super interesting that they name their locomotives even more than a number, which I thought was cool. So that was a really
Do you
neat short
happen to
line.
I have a
Huh?
question.
Yeah,
Do you happen to know if these are former UP locomotives? Like, what are they? Do you know?
I
I
think
mean, I
they're
know I can see.
GP40s, but I don't know, or Jeep
Well, no,
something or something, but I don't know where
I
they
can
came
tell that
from.
I can tell that they're Jeeps, and it looks like a Jeep probably 40 based on what I see on the fans in the back. But I'm just trying to figure out where they came from because the yellow almost looks like a UP yellow.
Yeah, it sure
But
does. Like they just
yeah,
took everything else off and put blue over it.
kind of, yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Just
So if
curious.
somebody knows the answer, give us a chat, give us a shout out or call in and tell us the answer if you know it. So not sure where they came from, but I just thought they were cool. And that was a really neat yard to kind of drive by and check out. In Texas,
Hmm.
not everything is fenced. They have roads next to these things. So you
Hmm.
can actually go see them. So that was nice. Dave says EMD GP40-2s. There you go. Dave will
Yep,
probably find out where they came from too. Okay, so
probably. He would know that kind of stuff.
he would. And so
Yep.
then we went around the corner, and honestly, it was probably a 5-minute drive, and we were at BNSF corporate headquarters.
Cool.
And we didn't make an appointment because you can't, and they're still in COVID, but we just on the chance we went to see the rail cars outside, and it happened that the lobby was open. And so I have a video right here. John, can you put the video up that I just put up there?
Sure. That would be. I'm trying to. Oh, here it is.
I'm taking the other one
Oh
away.
no.
There you go.
Okay. That. See, I was
This
about
is
to
the
click.
lobby.
Yeah. Let's try that again.
I walked in and saw this.
That
So
is
he's
so
telling me they
cool.
have the largest private collection of Western art, BNSF does. And I think they do. They probably have the largest collection of Western art because it's all
Yeah,
over their buildings.
I'm gonna play it again just so
Yeah.
people can see. That is just so
So
cool.
see the living room, and there's statues next to the couches, both sets of little couch areas. There's her reception desk, Marty. She sits in that area. And she wasn't even in there. Like we walked in and there was no one, so it was like super quiet, like a museum.
It looks like a hotel or something.
It does. It's beautiful. And everything is, I was just, if you read my Facebook post, I was really at a loss for words at how everything was accessible. It was there, you could touch it, you were part of it, and it was like these artifacts were like, "Hey, I'm here to tell a story, come see me." They were, like, behind glass, and they weren't so yeah, it was just amazing, and I think I might have one more video from there.
Oh, did you upload it? Because I'm
Oh,
not
here it
seeing another
is.
video
No,
from
here it
you.
comes. Sorry, I forgot to upload it. Okay, so once
Oh,
you see this video, let's look at
is
this
it
one
the
because
what?
this is the ultimate artifact right here.
I think this is it. Okay, I
Yes.
got to pause this so that we can look at it.
Okay.
So, should
I
I
have
keep it going? Are you going to tell us what it is?
This is the desk of the empire builder, Mr. James J. Hill.
Wow,
Of the
really?
This is James J. Hill's desk, and I could have sat at it. It's just open like that.
Did they actually let you sit down at his desk
I
if you
did not.
want to?
I did not, but you could. Like it was right there.
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of looks like you're not really supposed to, but
You're not supposed to. But I was just
yeah,
so shocked that things were just out in the open like that. But what a treasure.
that is pretty cool. I mean, that's history right there.
Yeah, the empire
That's
builder. I mean,
that's
yeah.
yeah, that's the kind of thing that belongs in a museum, and I guess kind of it is, right? If you want to think
So
of it that way.
this is a museum for sure. Yeah. So
Yeah, that is
you
way
can go back
cool.
to my PowerPoint. I just have a picture about that.
Sure.
So here's a picture of his desk, and this is a portrait of Mr. Hill. The things in this room that were amazing were the Western art, original oil paintings hanging everywhere, and they were from the founding of the railroad. So they're Great Northern paintings. There's Western Pacific paintings, or sorry, not Western Pacific. The what's the other one that they near the Great Northern? I'm
Which one?
sorry,
The
whatever.
Milwaukee Road?
No, what's the Central Pacific? They had some from there. I don't know how they would have gotten that, but they had a bunch of different art and they were just gorgeous. And then these are Remingtons, these bronze statues, and those are incredibly valuable bronzes of cowboys. And they had 4 of them in the lobby and 1 on the reception desk. Just fantastic.
Hmm.
So I just wanted
Oh,
to
here
share
you go,
how
Michelle. This is who it was.
somebody
It was
say
the
it.
Northern Pacific.
Northern
That was my
Pacific.
next guess.
Thank you. I'm
Yeah,
like, there's another name.
yeah.
Thank you, Trevor.
I should know that one because I just recorded a product spotlight, you know, the little product reviews that I do. That was
Yeah.
a car that was off of the Northern Pacific. So it's fresh in my brain. That's good though.
So
Now who are
this
these
is Mike
people?
Mackey. The guy
Oh,
behind
that's
me is
mine?
Mike Mackey. And I just wanted to throw out a thank you for him taking me to all those places. And he actually drove me all over Fort Worth and showed me where. So the 2023 National Model Railroad Association Convention and National Train Show is at the Grapevine Gaylord, where I stayed and did my convention, and the tours
Mhm.
go to Fort Worth. And so there'll be everything that I just did, you'll be able to do if you come to the national convention in 2023. And so
Yeah,
there'll
right
be
on.
tours that go there, and hopefully we'll get a even better tour of BNSF headquarters on that one. So this is a layout I went and visited. This is Mike Armstrong on the right side of the screen, and he has a lovely layout, and we'll see it next month when I talk about
And his name is
operations.
Mike Armstrong?
Yes. And
That's
then
funny.
Mike
I
Mackey.
know another Mike Armstrong. That's actually
And
a very well-known YouTuber.
oh, wow, how funny, names
Yeah.
are
Well, I mean,
so
Armstrong's not like the most unusual name, so it's not surprising, right?
right. Yeah, he was really nice, and his layout was wonderful. So I took a selfie with every layout I visited, but I wanted to show you guys who they were. So the next day, I got up and I went to the Museum of the American Railroad in Frisco, Texas, which is north of Dallas. And
Uh-huh.
I, for the second time, got to see 4018. Isn't he pretty?
Did he
So
remember you?
he did, I think. I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Little
And
tear.
it gave me good sky too. Like I got good clouds that day. That was nice. This is my friend John Garbett, and he works there. He is the tour guide who does the yard tours. And I've known him and been his friend for many years since the first time I went. So it was fun to
Cool.
catch up with him and go around the yard. And so here's a couple more photos. Now, I took this photo because have you ever noticed just how big that tender is? Sometime if you go see a big boy, make sure you walk back to the corner of the tender and just look at the size because it's just phenomenal how big it is. So
I think
That's
the
what I was
tender is damn near close to as big as the locomotive on those things.
it is. They're just massive, and it's when
Yeah.
you're in person, it's just unreal. So I just wanted to give the tender a little love there. So also at the Museum of the American Railroad, they have a centennial. They got this one, 6913. This is his sunny side, so this is the side where the paint is the most worn, of course.
Uh-huh.
But when you walk by these, the size of that fuel tank is just, it's wow. Yeah.
Yeah, those locomotives are really big. I saw the one in Ogden,
Yeah.
Utah, and I was just like, wow, this thing's really big.
And when you
You
get
know,
on it,
it's
it
like,
really is. Well, it's 2 locomotives long, really. I mean,
yeah,
it's a long walk back there. So
yeah,
it's just, yeah. They also have this, which is a version of a doodlebug. It's a Santa Fe
okay.
doodlebug. I think it's really neat because it's a passenger. It's a passenger thing.
You know, it
And
almost looks like a Bud car, but it's not.
so, and I'm sorry, John Garbett should be here with me to tell you exactly what it is. So, but
I
I,
don't
I
think it's a
just thought it
Bud
was really
car.
neat. I don't know. Does anybody
Yeah.
know any more details? And
I'm
so,
I'm trying to remember now because I did a video about the SP10, which is a Bud car, and I'm trying to look at
is
this
this a
and
Bud
think,
car? It's possible. It's, I don't know. I don't
yeah,
know because it's Santa Fe and I don't really know as much about that.
and it's tricking me because the paint is so different on it, and the paint job is messing me up because I'm trying to
Yeah.
envision what that SP one looked like when I saw it.
Well,
I don't think
you'll
this is
just
a
have to
Bud
go look
car.
that up.
Yeah.
So, and then they have these 2 steam locomotives. They have a decapod. And then these are both, this one's Frisco on the left, and the other one, let's see, I think it might, oh, I didn't pull up the next photo of it, but these set out there too. They recently added 3 sets of rail like these that are new. And so they've been moving all their stuff around, and they actually have 2 completely open tracks for future growth or being able to spread things out more. And so it's really neat to see them progressing through their building plans. So
Yeah.
that's really neat.
Cool.
They have a DG1 in Texas, but it actually ran down there. For on some
Really?
line had catenary, and it ran somewhere in Texas, and that's why it's there. So,
That's pretty cool. I
yeah,
mean,
I
because
don't
those
know
are
what,
usually an upper East Coast thing.
right, and it wasn't relabeled or anything. It still says Pennsylvania and everything. So I don't know.
Uh-huh.
But that was just interesting to see one there. Not what you expect.
Yeah.
This is a treasure. This semaphore came off of the Raton line, I think
Uh-huh.
last year. And Derek can answer this question because I think Derek might have gone down and photographed these too. John Crisanti did for sure. He was there the day this one was taken down. And so luckily the BNSF took care of these and gave them homes. I know Dave Hammer's going to be like, we have one because they do. The Illinois Railroad Museum got one, and Museum of the American Railroad got one too. They just got it installed, and it's hard to tell in this picture, but that's a Santa Fe caboose back there and a Santa Fe tower, and this came off the line. I just thought it was a great display the way they did it.
Did you
Very
see the
nicely done.
comment, Michelle?
Yeah, we have one too. I knew it, Dave.
Like you know who your viewers are.
Yeah. So,
That is cool.
so
Hey, wait a minute.
now
That's
when
you.
you go to visit the Museum of the American Railroad, it's a little bit confusing. So I want to explain this so that when you rail fan there, you know what you're doing. Because you walk into this building, you're in this parking lot, and it says National Video Game Museum and Traintopia. And you walk in, and there's a door on each side of those signs. And so it's like, do I go left or do I go right? Do I go left or do I go right? Well, I went right. I went into Traintopia. So, but last time I visited, I went left first because I was a day early, and I went to the National Video Game Museum, and I have to say it's phenomenal. And they have every console ever made and all the computers from the beginning, from the Commodore 64. They have everything and computer games, and it's a very cool place. So you can spend a day not rail fanning but geeking out here, or you can go over here to Traintopia. Traintopia is owned by the Museum of the American Railroad, and it is where you get your ticket for the tour. You can only see the rolling stock out there on a guided tour, or we'll stop looking at my face. So you have to go in there, and I would highly recommend calling early or getting your ticket early so you're guaranteed a spot on a tour with John. So you can go out and see the equipment. But you go into Traintopia and, oh, I better start loading my video. I got video for you.
Oh, there's
It's an
more video.
amazing G
Cool.
scale. It's G scale. Um, it's a very, very cool place. And
Oh,
this picture of me, I'm kind of standing at the entrance to it. So Traintopia belonged to one man, and it was in his home, and they donated it to the Museum of the American Railroad. So they rebuilt it in this room, and it's all inside this huge building where the video game museum in Traintopia is, and then you go outside and all that rolling stock's outside of it. So you can,
that's
if you
really
want to play
cool.
the video, it shows it better than pictures do.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
It's cool. It's really just a fun place to be inside because it's lots of moving things. And there's humans, so you can see the scale.
That guy looks like he's working on the track. He got the big little shirt on.
Yeah, he's got the yellow shirt. So you go over
Yeah.
here, and here's their logging industry section over here. And then just to the left, as I end this video, they're starting to build an O-scale layout off to the left there. So
Yeah,
do you want
it ended. So
to play it again? Oh yeah, do you see it right there on the? That's going to be,
yeah,
it's an O-scale. So that's their next thing.
that's pretty cool. There's a place out here where I live called the San Leandro. I'm going to play this again. Called the San Leandro Historical Railway Society. They have a big HO scale layout in their main building, which is basically a retired, or what, it's a former Southern Pacific depot.
Okay.
And the cool thing about the HO layout is that it was designed by world famous John Armstrong. And then there's that name Armstrong again. And then outside in the back in their yard, they have a garden. They call it the G and O. It's the garden scale, G scale, and O scale outdoor layout. It's pretty cool. So
Very
I made that go
cool.
away. It just reminded me of that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And that's just, Traintopia is a really fun place to visit. So I just thought I would
Sure.
share a little bit of that too. And
Yeah,
let's see.
that's cool.
I think I have a couple more photos of it in my PowerPoint. Just because I really like this canyon area. I just thought they did such a good job with those canyon rocks and stuff in G scale. It was really neat to see.
It looked cool.
So can you bring my slides back up? Are you trying?
Oh, I'm sorry. You mean those?
Those,
Sorry, Michelle.
thank you.
I'm trying to multitask because I have comments and stuff coming in too that I'm trying to keep track of because we don't have our top secret.
Yeah, she's not here to help you. This is from floor to ceiling, this section right here that you couldn't really see in my video. So you can just kind of see the depth of their rock all the way to the floor and up. So I just thought it was very neat.
That's really cool.
Okay. Oh, next slide. We're in the train show. So I went and saw all that stuff waiting around for the Dallas area train show on the Saturday. So this is me on the stage, and no, I didn't speak to the whole room or anything, but I was on the stage, so I thought, what a great place to take a picture. And I have a video here too. I'm sorry, I'm slow on the upload, aren't I?
Oh, you didn't bring that video up either? Wow.
No, but now it's here.
It's almost like your top secret producer's not there either.
So they have a little stage here, and this stage is where they do their clinics. But here's a video from there. So you can see they had quite a few layouts, and this is just one room. You go off to the right here, and there's different hallways with stuff in other rooms. And like Spring Creek Model Trains had their own huge room. You would just go into their room off the hallway. It was really interesting. Some vendors had their own rooms.
I paused it in the middle just so that we can take a look.
Now, something very confusing for me is that in my world in Colorado, Spring Creek, leave it paused right there. Spring Creek means Spring Creek Model Trains in Deschler, Nebraska. But this convention center in Plano, Texas is on Spring Creek Boulevard, and the model railroad layout is the Spring Creek Railroad, and everything here in Plano is Spring Creek something. And so it was really confusing, but I think Spring Creek Model Trains probably felt right at home.
Yeah. No, because when I saw that, I thought, oh, it must be the same one from Deschler.
Nope, it's completely different. Yeah. So, and speaking of that, I forgot to announce it earlier. We have Spring Creek weekend at the museum. So if you are local to me, Valentine's Day weekend, Spring Creek Model Trains, the whole Zucker family is coming to operate on our layout. And we have all kinds of fun things planned and special t-shirts and all sorts of stuff.
Wow.
So
And
Spring
that's
Creek
less than a
weekend.
month away.
Yeah, it's just a couple weekends away. So
Yeah. Cool.
okay. I don't remember if I have any more slides. Can you bring it up
Yeah.
again?
Yeah. Let me see if I
Sorry.
can get there. It is.
Okay,
And
I
oh,
think
and
that.
by the way,
Oh, these are
we
my
were
friends.
talking about that.
Yeah,
We were talking
I'll
about that
move it there.
doodle bug real quick. I'm just going to bring
Yeah.
up a thing
Did you
here.
find it?
Dave looked it up.
Santa Fe
So
M160 doodle bug. It was a doodle bug. I was right.
yeah.
Okay. I thought it
Yeah, I
was.
didn't think it was a bud car because bud cars have other spotting features like a bulge in the top that would be where the
Oh.
exhaust is. But
So we have doodle bugs on
anyway,
our layout, so I know what that is. So that's why I thought it was
yeah,
a doodle bug, because I thought I remember that. These are my friends from the AML Nation that I saw at the train
right.
show.
And
You
I
might know
recognize
some of those
Speed right
people.
off.
Like there's Speed on the right, and then Brooks in the
Yeah.
middle, Emery and Chris
Okay.
Atkins. So these guys are all Texas modelers. So that's all I've got. I had a great time there. They were very, very hospitable to me. You could take the slideshow. Oh, do you want me to do my snow? Leave it here because we'll just
Yeah.
trade off to the next topic. So
I know that you
okay,
have something else on here that you wanted to show,
I do. Well, tonight's topic was supposed to be snow, but I put
right?
Texas rail fanning. Although I have to tell you, the day of the train show, let's see if we can see a window. Oh, there's no window behind him. It was snowing here.
Oh,
It was
really?
snow. It snowed here at this train show, and I told him, "You're welcome."
So you brought the snow with you.
I
Yeah.
brought the snow. So I was
Yeah.
going to show my snow pictures before we look at Derek's amazing snow pictures. So this is my favorite snow day with trains. And this is November of 2019, the very last day of Big Boy's first excursion year. And we were the last stop in Greeley. And we had a blizzard that day. We had over a foot of snow. I shoveled all morning long trying to clear stuff out. But it was amazing. And look at the crowd of people that came out in a blizzard to see the Big Boy. And as they were leaving and pulling away, I snapped this photo of Jim Leonard. But look at the icicles hanging off of the car.
Yeah.
Can you see that? The whole train was just solid icicles. It was so pretty. And so I thought I'd kick off our snow with some icicles.
Yeah.
So
No, that's cool.
this is Jim Leonard. He volunteers at the museum and he's the conductor for Union Pacific Steam.
Right.
So anytime you come in on a Saturday, he's usually there.
You know,
If he's not out on the road.
Right. It's interesting. I'm going to remove. Can I remove it now?
You can take it down. I'm done. Yep.
Okay.
All done.
It's really interesting to hear you talk about the volunteers at the museum because there are people that do these things like, you know, someone, if the Big Boy came to town and went through and he was out there waving out the side of the car, nobody watching knows. Well, not nobody.
Well, we all
obviously
know
someone
that are
would know,
there, but yeah, the people in the crowd have
right?
no idea that he was there last Saturday and he'll be there next Saturday. And like, you
Right.
know, yeah.
And the ironic thing is they could come to the Colorado Model Railroad Museum and see him there and not realize that was the same guy, you know?
Right.
It's like,
Oh yeah, totally.
yeah, it's funny.
We just let them
It's,
be people when they're there. So
of course, yeah. Yeah. And you should. I mean, that's, you know, it's, well, yeah,
yeah.
you should because they don't need to be swamped by people wanting to know this and wanting to know that. And, you know, oh, can I have your autograph? Yeah. Oh, no one does
Yeah.
that anymore. It's like, it's more like this.
They're
Michelle.
super sweet
Can I
though.
take a selfie with you?
If somebody notices who they are, they're always so gracious. The whole Steam crew,
Yeah.
super gracious people, just wonderful.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Very
So
cool.
we're going to have some more snow. Are we ready?
Should we do it? I want to bring Mike on to talk about the Signy,
Oh,
but
let's do that first.
his-
Or is he not there yet?
he's having all kinds of problems with his camera. Like I can't even see him. It looks like he threw it underwater or something.
Oh no.
So
And we're a little early for what we told, I think Derek put out for his family. So hopefully you can let him
Yeah.
know. Do we have
Yeah, I
anybody
mean,
that has questions about Texas before we move on?
that's a good question. Yeah, maybe we could bring someone with a question. It looks like I can see Mike now. Should I try to bring Mike on?
Yeah,
Let
let's
me
do it.
try to bring Mike. Yeah, let
Okay.
me try to bring Mike on and see if this works. Oh, it looks different on the video on the basement. Hi, Mike.
Hello, can you
Uh-oh.
hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you, but you're really choppy on the picture.
Okay, let's see. I'm trying to figure out how to get StreamYard to come back.
Oh.
I can see the
Well-
chat screen.
Oh, well, uh-oh.
And he's gone. And he hit the
Well-
leave button.
That made it easy. That's what I mean. He's been sitting in what we call the basement, this little backstage area that only I can
Yeah.
see because I own the meeting, right? And I keep seeing it. It looks like his phone was thrown underwater, and then he shows back up, and then he disappears, and then he shows back up, and here he's showing back up. So let's try this again. Can you see us
Okay.
now, Mike?
I can see you too. Yes, I can.
Oh,
Okay.
well, welcome, sir. This is the first time you've called into the show. Nice seeing you.
I was not aware there was a show. It's news to me.
Well, I'm
Well,
glad
welcome to the
I'm
show.
glad you found it.
You're on.
Yeah.
I'm on.
So
Okay.
I wanted to bring you on because I know you're on the planning committee for the SIGME that we're both working on, and I thought it would be nice to have someone talk about that other than me because I'm the one that's always plugging it.
Well, the thing to realize with this SIGMEET is that there's a saying in model railroading: come for the trains and stay for the people. And the people in this group are absolutely the best people in model railroading, bar none. You can come in with a layout design, you can come in with a couple of sketches, you can come in with a paper napkin and a crayon, and they will walk you through and coach you on how to design a layout. And they are incredibly helpful, incredibly courteous. They know not everybody knows everything. They work with you. They will, when they get done with you, you will have a great layout, and it will not hurt, and it will be a wonderful experience. And you can still keep in touch with these people, and it's just a hidden gem. I came to this about 5 years ago, and what I did was there was a design challenge, and I said, well, the only way to learn anything in model railroading is to put something out there and see what they say. And it's kind of like entering a kit in a model in a contest room. You say, well, I'm new to this. I don't really know what I'm doing, so I'll get some feedback. Well, I turned in my design for the design challenge about 4 or 5 years ago, and there were only 2 of us who actually submitted anything, and we both presented, and it turned out very well. So I said, well, whatever I do in this group, if I put in some effort, it will be well received. So feel free to do whatever you want. And when I did my design review on the first design challenge the first time, I was totally different than the other person, and nobody seemed to mind. I said, there's just 2 ways to approach this. About 2 years ago, we did a design challenge for a piece of the either the UP, the SP, the Corp, which is a railroad up near Klamath Falls. And we were modeling Klamath Falls plus connections to Beaver, which is the Western Pacific, and a few others. And the specs on it were so fuzzy that we had to stuff this into a garage, and yet we're modeling like 400 miles. So I said, okay, I know it can't be done, but I'm going to do something. So I did something with modules and had a great design. 3 other people entered, and their designs were totally different from mine, and everybody liked them. And the beauty of this group is that people are going to put out designs that you're going to say, hey, that's exactly what I want. What's your email address? So I encourage you to be a part of this group. And the design challenge, if you go to the website, you can click on a link and just come up with 7 or 8 slides, a little bit of a script. Pick a piece of the Southern Pacific line that runs between San Francisco and San Jose. There's a whole bunch of industrial railroads that make perfect shelf layouts. And I picked one. The one that pops up is the one I picked, the San Carlos. I just happen to like it. And we're going to go through and talk about it. And when you go through the design challenge, if the guy before you says something you didn't know about, put it in your own presentation. No harm in copying. You can, if you steal from 2 people, it's not plagiarism. It's called research. So
Well, the other thing to
So
think about too is that, and most people will freely admit this, that most good ideas on a layout came from somebody else anyway. And like I said,
Yes.
most guys will say, "Oh, I stole this from so and so," or "I
Right.
don't even remember who I stole it from, but this wasn't my idea." Right? So
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And one thing you got to realize: every time you pick up a copy of Model Railroader and you look at the cover, that's not the first try. That's at least the second try, at least. So, I mean, model railroading is a lot of do-overs. So, and this is part of the process of you may already have a design, just bring it up and show it. So I encourage you to be a part of this. You can either call in by Zoom or you can show up in Santa Clara. And as far as I know, we are not likely to be shut down. The county doesn't seem imminent that Omicron is going to suddenly fill every hospital bed and ambulance in Santa Clara County. That having a group of 80 or 90 people meeting together is not gonna be a a showstopper in their eyes.
yeah, it's looking fairly optimistic right now, but who knows? I
Yes,
did post the
right.
link for people to sign up. One thing that is important for people to realize is that they do have to sign up because the amount of space is limited at the depot. And the
Yes,
other thing to also to keep in mind is if over the next week or two things get worse with the virus, and then now you're not really comfortable going to the in-person one, you'll still get a link to the virtual one if you're signed up as an in-person attendee. So
right. Yeah, yeah. You won't
yeah.
miss out. You can at least get something out of it.
Yeah. And the other cool thing about it that maybe people don't realize, and I don't know if I've been really good at explaining this when I promote it myself, is that everybody who's online is going to get basically the same experience as the people that are in person. We're showing the same clinics at the same time with the same questions being asked. So I'm really
Exactly.
excited about it, though. It should be a really cool event.
Well, the thing I see in this meet is if you can come away from this with 4 or 5 email addresses to connect with 4 or 5 people that really think the way you do, it's a winner. And
Yep.
we're going to have Cal Sexsmith. I don't know if you know him. He is a outstanding modeler from Canada. He did a paper mill design
Hmm.
that was in the LD Sig journal about 5-6 years ago, and his paper mill, I swear that it had 8 or 9 different car types that you would switch at this paper mill. I mean, you think of a paper mill, the first thing you think of is, well, in come logs and out goes paper. So you have log cars and box cars, but he had chemical cars, he had flat cars for machinery, he had hoppers for coal, he had covered hoppers for the lignin, which is what makes your model railroader magazines shiny. All that shiny surface on the paper is a kaolin clay, and he had everything, and he's said he wanted to enter the design challenge, and I'm sure what he is going to have is going to be awesome. So I'm
Cool.
certainly looking forward for that.
Sounds great. Well, I really appreciate you calling in, Mike. Again, it's one of those things where, you know, I probably would have remembered to bring it up, but having someone call in to bring it
yeah,
up
and talk
reminds
about it.
me, and it's nice to have someone else talking about it too, because I feel like sometimes if you're the only person that people see talking about something, like, oh, he's talking about this again,
Yeah.
like doesn't he know he already talked about that the last 5 times he was on?
I think that's how the world feels about me. Like the people in my world, they're like, "Oh, Michelle's talking about a train again."
Yeah, same here, right?
Well,
We,
Michelle, you have a museum, which is an outstanding museum. It
Thank you.
also is a service to the community. I mean, people bring their families and their kids. It's an educational experience.
Yeah.
It is something kids will talk about. I mean, I talk about going to the Boston Museum of Science, and I'm so old. I went back to that museum before they invented fire. So after that, they doubled the price because there was more things to see. So, but I mean, your museum will be
Well,
an experience for all these kids, and so
thank you.
keep up the good work. I mean, I know they don't pay you much; they pay you in, you know,
Pay me in
popcorn
fun,
and
though.
cereal box tops. They pay
Fun
you in
and
fun.
flexibility.
And
So
yes,
thank
exactly.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well,
are
thanks
you
for
still
coming
are you
on.
still enjoying
Appreciate it.
you
Oh,
still enjoying
go.
your sound effects with your Star Wars?
Yes. So you
Your
guys
Star
don't know
Wars?
this,
Oh,
but
yeah.
Mike knows I'm super nerdy, and he sent me the Star Wars sound effect book, and it's cool. It has every sound effect of Star Wars in this really thick book. I'll have to bring it to the show sometime and show you guys. And in the book, there's a number, and you can click to the number and hear the sound effect for every movie,
Right.
every Star Wars movie. It's really cool. So
It,
thank you, Mike.
it it's a book. It's about an inch and a half thick. It has batteries. It has a speaker. It has push buttons. So it's more than a book.
Mhm.
It's almost a laptop.
Yeah,
So,
it's fun because I
but
can go
it's got
find a
some
sound
fun.
effect I want and make it play. It's awesome.
Well, you
Cool.
can put it in a locomotive and have the locomotive play that sound.
Well, I honestly asked for that in our Star Wars training. The guys didn't think that would be. I wanted the lightsabers. I wanted, wah, 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 like a lightsaber
Right.
fight going
Exactly.
on
Yeah.
in the train,
Yeah.
and they didn't think that would be a good idea. I don't understand that, so we didn't get the sound effect for that. But maybe
Well, I
now I
mean,
will.
there's a certain amount of bridging that goes on when people who are into movies and games and realize that some of the technology in their movies and games is things that people will teach them how to do. In other words, they say, hey, I can make that sound. Here's a little box that I can put a battery in and it'll make this sound. Or here's a circuit I can wire up. And
Right.
so I think that's a
Star Wars
bridge
was
into the
just
hobby.
it was a huge model with sound effects. I mean, it was modeling.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So
Well, so now I
all of
know
the sci-fi
you're on
world
every
was.
Wednesday.
No,
So
once a month.
you're sure
We are on here
once
once
a
a
month.
month. Uh-huh.
Okay.
The third Wednesday.
Well,
Okay,
now
somebody
I would
is saying
imagine.
my sound
So
effects
this
are
is
funny.
this is an app that I can download and call in directly from my phone, and it will work probably much better.
It works
Maybe.
better from a computer. And yeah,
Okay.
it's usually
Okay.
better if you can be at a computer. It'll work a lot better for you. But it's live
Yes.
YouTube, so yep. Well, thank
Yeah.
you, Mike.
Okay. You're welcome. Enjoy your museum, and glad to plug
All right.
the show and the SIG meet, and I'll see you tonight, John, if you call in on the
Yep.
Seth Newman's conference call, Zoom call.
Yep.
So,
I'll
okay,
see
now
you
that
at
I
the
know,
meeting.
Okay.
it's my first time. What is this called again? Slideshow or Showstopper or
Oh, StreamYard?
Screens? StreamYard. That's what it is.
StreamYard.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like talking
So,
trains
Yeah.
with Michelle and John
Yeah. Talking
yeah.
trains with Michelle.
and John.
Yes. StreamYard.
I
Okay.
talk a lot, but he
Well.
does get to talk occasionally. So,
Well.
I slip a word in here and there.
There you go.
thank you, Mike.
Bring your wife on, John. She's a delight.
Yep.
She is
She'll
a
be at the
delight.
meeting too.
Sydney's
That's
wonderful.
good. Yes. Isn't she wonderful? She made the convention, the national convention. Her ability to basically harness and herd the cats to make all that stuff work with her patience and technical knowledge. That was the key to making that so successful that we all learned our skills. She had a clinic that you could call in a Zoom call to learn how to use it, and I logged in 3 times of the 4 just to hear it over and over again to learn how to do it. So
Yep. It's funny for anybody wondering what he's talking about. We were also involved with the NMRA National Convention last year, which was held entirely virtually. And would you believe, Mike, that she was sitting right where I'm sitting right now to do those little training sessions with you guys? So
yes,
I was sitting about 4 feet that direction off. So I heard most of that. So anyway, thanks again for calling in. We'll see you at the meeting tonight. All right.
See you tonight. Okay. Have a good day.
All right. Take care, man.
See ya. Bye.
Cool. Well, I want to thank Mike for calling in. Like I was saying, I do think that it's an important thing. One of the really important things that we're trying to do by having this event virtually as well as in person is trying to include people. So, right. So basically what's going to happen is on Saturday, the whole thing's virtual. So all the people that are going to be there in person on Sunday are going to be there virtually on Saturday.
Okay.
And then on Sunday, for people who can't come all the way to Santa Clara from wherever you live, you can just come onto a Zoom call And what's really cool about it, there's a couple things that are going to happen. One, we're going to basically simulcast the entire event over that Zoom call. And the people who are part of the Zoom call can interact with the clinicians. And we're going to even have something that was very popular at the national convention, which was something we called the clinic goes on
Okay.
in breakout rooms.
Oh,
So
cool.
so that way the people who are virtual, they can't ask questions during the live Q&A because we don't have a way to do that, but they get the clinician all to themselves during the clinic goes on.
Okay.
So you get all the benefits, right, of being there live, but you can do it virtually from Alaska,
Which is nice because you can be
right?
included. Yeah.
Yeah, or Australia or wherever. One of the things that happened when we did the virtual national convention last year was there were a lot of people that were from far away, and they said, I wouldn't be able to attend at all had it not been virtual because I'm either too far away or it costs too
Right.
much or whatever the thing was. And that opened my eyes to the idea that there are a lot of people that want to be involved, but they can't. Well, they can if it's virtual. So,
Right.
So I'm really excited about that. I'm all about including as many people as possible into a really cool hobby. So
Absolutely. All
yeah,
right. So what do we have next? Are we off to Derek or do we have a caller or what are we doing?
we have your choice. We have Andy or Derek.
Well, I think Andy's pretty quick. So let's bring Andy up. Let's introduce Andy. So
Okay,
everybody
let's
can meet him
do you
real
want to
quick.
introduce him
Sorry,
and then
Derek.
bring him
Hang
up?
on, Derek. Well, then we're done.
Okay, I'll bring up Andy real quick. Okay. Oh,
If
sorry.
it
Oh, that's
works.
it. That's all the time we had. No, I'm just kidding, of course.
It's not loading for me. Do you see a not loading screen? My whole computer's lagging tonight, guys. Like sometimes
Oh.
I see John and sometimes I don't. I see a black screen with the circle spinning. So
I played a joke on Andy. I made him come on and then I made him go away. Sorry about that, Andy. I don't know
Oh.
you. I don't know you to be playing tricks
I
like
wasn't
that.
even.
So
I
this is
wasn't even
Andy.
sure if I did
He
it
works
right.
he works for me, the poor guy. Y'all can pity him because I'm his boss. So,
Yeah.
but he showed me this picture of snow today, so I was gonna see if we could share it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe I
You-
have it uploaded. So
Andy
Yeah,
worked
you
for
want
I
to-
have actually a couple.
he worked
you
for
wanna
a
in-
short line. So this is a picture from the Great Western.
Okay.
Yeah, I worked for them for
There
about
you
2 years, 2.5 years, and one day we were doing some maintenance on this business car, and it was a perfect setting. Like the sun was setting, and I was like, "Oh, this is like a great opportunity for a photo," and I just totally took advantage of it.
So the Yellowstone is a heavyweight that they have completely refurbished. It's not very often a short line will do this kind of thing. But they're an Omnitrax railroad, if you know Omnitrax. And the owner of Omnitrax, which I think they have 19 short lines, happens to live in Windsor, Colorado, where he has this personal car there. And so they put the mahogany back in it and they restored it back to exactly what it should be. And it is beautiful. And so sometimes it moves around the Great Western yards out there in Windsor. We have this huge development of industry. And so sometimes you'll see it out and about. They move it around. So did you have another photo?
Yeah, so I did add another one in there of a side view, I believe. Oh yeah, there it is. I was hoping to get all of it in the frame, but for some reason it didn't show up as planned.
There you can see it says Great Western Railway and it's Yellowstone. So thank you for showing us a picture of snow.
Absolutely.
It looks like there's 2 more slides. Should I bring up
Is there
the
2
other
more?
ones
Yeah.
too, or?
Yeah, so
Yeah, sure. We'll look
those
at
are
them real
just
quick.
those are the day that Big Boy came through in 2019 when it was freezing cold.
Oh, so the same, yeah. So this is Andy shot in the same day. Cool. Look at
Yeah,
that.
and then I believe I have another one of the rest of the train as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
Right on.
So I didn't know Andy on this day, but we evidently walked around each other.
Yeah, and like it was totally funny.
So are you from Greeley, Andy, or where are you from?
So I actually grew up in Fort Collins, and
Oh, okay.
then,
Yeah, but he's regional.
yeah. So, but we currently live in Milliken, so we're not too far from Greeley.
Yeah. So he
Cool.
works 30 hours in the winter and 40 hours a week in the summer, and sometimes more than that. So,
Yeah, and other days I go in just because it's fun and I love being there.
Oh, over at the museum.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
I wonder if I saw you there but didn't know who you were, because I've been at the
Yeah.
TSG a few times now.
Yeah.
He's been with us not quite a year, John. So I don't know if
Oh,
you would
okay.
have seen him or not.
It would
Yeah.
have only been over the summer when we were out
Yeah,
there,
when
whatever it
you
was,
came through.
August. Or,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
well,
we
thanks,
tried to
Andy.
briefly one day. But yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
It was a lot of
thanks
fun.
for coming on. And everybody will know what you look like, so they can find you when they visit.
Yeah, for sure.
You're gonna come up. It's gonna be one of these. Can I have a selfie?
Andy should be famous. He's super fun. He's nicer than I am.
She's pretty nice. She's nice to me. So
All right. Thanks, Andy.
Thanks, Andy. We'll see you.
you bet. See you
Yeah,
later.
take care. Well, that was a nice surprise.
Yeah, he showed me those today. So
Yeah, very cool.
I'm
Well,
like,
Derek's
oh, come
looking a
on.
little. Derek's looking a little nervous. Should we bring him on and put him on the
Let's bring
spotlight
Derek
now?
on. It's time for the finale, guys. Like the best for last, for sure.
Here
Because
we go.
Derek's
Well,
phenomenal.
Hello, Derek.
Hello,
Oh,
Michelle and
welcome
John.
back.
Thank you.
Hi, welcome. Okay, everybody. This is my friend Derek who took this photo right here. And it's amazing. And oh, I always go the wrong way. So I was at the Cheyenne train show. Was it last year? Yeah, we had one last year, wasn't it, Derek? And I'm like, I need that. I need that. So I bought it from him. And then he gave me the other one, the side of the 949, I think it is. I can't tell right here. But thank you, Derek. So thanks for coming on. I knew that when I needed pictures of snow, you were my go-to guy. So let's look at some of your photos. So guys, get ready because these are phenomenal.
All right. Well, thanks for having me, and hello to everybody that's joined. I have a collection of slides that I pulled together with the theme of snow, and it's a variety of trains from Amtrak to UP and BNSF. I live in Denver, so I'm fortunate to be able to have access to a lot of areas that get a lot of snow. There's the joint line that goes kind of north-south through Colorado and runs through Larkspur and Palmer Lake, which is very scenic. And then, of course, there's the Moffett line, which goes through the mountains. A lot of the photos that I take with the snow are either in the yards or up in the mountains. This is a slide. I've got a series of slides.
Before you go on, let's talk about Buffy's Best. Let's promote your website real quick before we go on.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you've done other photography than trains. You do a lot.
Yeah, I've done trains for about 8 years. Prior to that, I was really focused on air shows and auto races. And then trains, which the beauty about trains is that you don't have to wait a year to find a train. There's always trains running somewhere.
Yeah, true. So your website is buffysbest.com. So you guys can go look at his work there. So.
Yeah, and you'll also see, I think I have kindred spirit with the model railroaders. If you go to my site, you'll see the miniatures that I've been building. Not so much railroad, but everything else.
I have a question, Derek, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
What's the origin of? Because when I got the email from you, I was like, Buffy's Best. What is that?
Yeah, what is that?
So back in my air show days, I hung around with a lot of pilots, and as you know from Top Gun, pilots like to give everybody nicknames. And one of my good friends had a comment about I looked like Buffy from the kid from Family Affair. Remember that show way back when with Sebastian Cabot? And then somebody remarked that, well, Buffy was the girl. And of course, everybody laughed, and then it stuck. And I've lived with that nickname since 1981, or not actually 78, probably.
Okay.
So
well, I hope you're not sorry I asked.
No, I've learned to live with it and enjoy trying to explain to people what it means.
My name's Mossy, so there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would tell you my name, but I can't repeat it. It's a family show.
Well, this is great, and so everybody should go look at his website because he's got lots of other stuff out there. So
I think I'd probably enjoy that. I really enjoy the photographs of airplanes. A lot of my friends out here where I live are also, we call them plane foamers, because they like trains, but they also like planes. And I don't know what you call plane foamer, so we just call it. What do you call a plane foamer?
It's works for me.
Okay.
Plain foamer.
I mean,
Okay.
the friends that I hang out with, we're somewhat adventurous. We've gone on the JFK on a day cruise to photograph planes landing on a carrier. We've been out to see a night shuttle launch. So anything that's got planes, trains, or motors that goes fast, and we're there.
Yeah, and I see the ship. There's a ship icon embossed on the Buffy's Best logo as well. That's pretty cool.
The meaning of the card is much like the model railroading has a national contest every year. I enter a contest. It's the International Plastic Modeler Society contest, and it happens once a year. There's about 3,000 entries. You get folks from Industrial Light and Magic, all the kind of the modeling gurus, and I've been fortunate to win the national award 4 years. So this represents 3 years because 1 year I did a helicopter, 1 year I did a ship, and
I
1
didn't
year
know
I
you
did
were a
a-
modeler.
Yeah,
All right, we're gonna have Derek Brown Saturday and bring all your models in the museum.
Yeah, you'll see from the website. I tend to build them
Okay.
very detailed. The Texas was a scratch built model that took over 2 years to build. So
Wow.
you'll get a good sense of
Okay.
kind of how detailed and nuts I am when you go to the website.
Well, and here I was thinking you were just
We're
a
talking
photographer
trains,
guy.
yeah.
You're-
We're
you're-
totally like, oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna have you
you're-
back to look
Yeah, you're
at
a
your
model
other
phoner
models.
too.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
I like you even more now. I already liked you. Now I really like you.
I'm an all-around nut.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay, let's
that's
look at
awesome.
some trains in the snow.
Yeah, we got to stay on this one for a second. Look at the heat coming off of that thing. That's awesome.
Yeah, this is there's a stretch of railroad called the Tunnel District on the Moffett line. And in about an hour, 15 to an hour and a half, a train that's going up the Moffett through the tunnels will go through 30 different tunnels. And so there's canyons, there's all kinds of great locations to shoot. And of course, what I like about shooting the Amtrak is, especially the California Zephyr, is it goes fairly fast. And so you get what I call whippage, snow whippage, coming off the train.
Huh.
Okay,
This
so
was
on my screen, it's not changing pictures. So
Oh,
if
it
I say
changed
lost
here.
at something,
No.
my whole computer system is lagging tonight. So if I disappear, I'm sorry. So if you ask
We
me a
can-
question, I'm not seeing it. I'm sorry.
We can hear you fine.
Oh, you know
If
what?
you
I'll bring it up on my phone so I can see it, because on my computer it's still on Trains in the Snow, the first shot. I don't know why.
Oh.
So
Can
okay,
you hear me, Michelle?
I can hear you guys though.
Oh.
It's just that the video is not.
I was going to suggest, if you want, you could turn your camera off. That should make the lag go away.
Oh,
And then
okay.
just bring it back on when we come back later.
Okay.
'Cause
All right. I can
Derek's going
see
to be
what it is
talking
now.
most of. Yeah,
Okay.
Derek's going to be most of the talking anyway, right?
Right. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. I'm gonna turn my camera off and see if that'll work. Okay, keep going because your photos. I don't matter. Your photos
right.
are awesome. So
Yeah, let's make the photos big again. There we go.
so
Sorry about that, Derek.
No worries. This next series of photos was a pretty epic snowfall that we had in March of 2021, where it snowed about 3 feet. And, I am the person that's going to be out getting photographs. The worse the forecast and the worse the snow conditions are, I'm usually out there taking photographs. And this was a unique event that we've had that much snow. I think it was the most snow that we've had in maybe 15 or 20 years. If you can pull up that first video.
Sure.
It was a video taken at the same time I was taking these photographs, where you can see how deep the snow is. And in fact, it was so deep that the California Zephyr made it, I think, to Pine Cliff.
That is so dramatic.
Made it to Pine Cliff, and then they actually had to back all the way down to Denver because of how deep the snow was. And it wasn't just the snow. The switches were freezing. So they had to haul all kinds of track issues. So they backed the train about 40 miles back into Denver.
That was a cool shot. And
That's awesome.
Michelle and I and some other friends that were with us this past summer were in that same spot taking a video of the California Zephyr that was
Yeah, that's
running
Blue
late.
Mountain, right? That was Blue Mountain. Yeah.
It
It is
looked
Blue
like
Mountain.
it. Well, it was, Derek, right?
Yes, Blue Mountain.
Yeah. I showed that video on our last live stream. It was
We did. It was our sunset video.
Yeah, it was much different weather.
Yeah, it was nicer.
Please
This
proceed,
photo was
sir.
taken at Crescent, Colorado. Crescent is probably halfway between Denver and the Moffett Tunnel. Again, gets a lot of snow just because of the way it sits in the topography. I like going out to Keensburg and Roggen because when the snow comes down, the Zephyr in this section of track, this is on the brush sub, the Zephyr's going about 79, 80 miles an hour through here. And you'll see from some of my other photos, if you follow me, I'm a big fan of photographing the Zephyr at sunrise.
Yeah, you're like me. You're up at, because you probably get up at 4 to get out there.
Yeah,
I'm up
yeah,
at 5, so I
that's
wouldn't
right.
make it.
This is another series of shots taken up at Toland, where again the Amtrak California Zephyr is kind of busting through a snowdrift at a crossing up there. Nice sunny day. Usually I'm out in the worst of the weather, but this was a nice sunny day where I was able to get this shot.
That last shot, Derek, it looked like the snow was going to pulverize you. How far away were you?
I was pretty far away, probably about 40 feet, and
Okay.
enough to where I didn't get hit.
Yeah.
I've seen some videos where well-known video where the Amtrak's going into the station and just clobbers people with the snow. I try to, for the benefit of my camera, not wanting to have to clean it or buy a new one, I try to stay out of the pummel zones.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at those chunks coming off the side. It's like, wow, don't want to get hit by that.
Yeah. I think it is for the zoom lens, right?
Yeah. This is a shot of the ski train that's running again this year. Caught it again just between Crescent and Tunnel 18. It's a fun zone, a lot of snow again, the way the topography is. This is a shot of the ski train when they had a kind of push you, pull me configuration where they had one of these units on the end and two P-42s on the other end. So the ski train will go from Denver to Winter Park and people will get off, and then it parks up near between Winter Park and Fraser. And then around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it'll come back and pick people back up at Winter Park and take them back to Denver.
Is that one of those unpowered units, the 406 there? We have those.
This one was, I believe, powered. I think it was on the trailing end going up, and then on the backside, it was leading the train going back to Denver.
Yeah, we have units that look like that run on Amtrak California out here that they call them cabbage units because they are old cabs that were turned into baggage cars, but they still have a cab in them. They're unpowered because all the prime mover and all that stuff is taken out to hold baggage, but they use it as a control stand when the train's going in reverse. I just thought, that looks like one of our cabbage.
That's interesting.
cars.
I've never seen that on the Moffett or anything.
Yeah. Oh, look it up. It's pretty cool. Cabbage cars. I don't know how many
I
they
will
have.
look that up.
Yeah.
And again, just some amazing views up on the Moffett line. This happens to be the Flatirons in Boulder after a fairly heavy snow that, that's the other thing that as a photographer, you're looking for what they call flock, which is snow that is just caked on the trees.
Mm-hmm. That's really pretty. The tunnel goes under that rock on the right, in case you didn't know that.
Yes, it does.
It's beautiful there.
So when the snow really starts to fly and the trains are moving, then I'll try to go find a train. This one was one that was going through Longmont, And the spring snows that we get here are pretty heavy, and the snow is fairly sticky. And you can see that it doesn't take much to coat the front of a train as it's going through a snow like that. Similarly, in the yards in Denver, we have a number of big yards, and both BNSF and UP. So when the snow's blowing, they're still shuffling cars in the yards, and so you can get some pretty fun shots. This was a shot that was taken in the BNSF yard. A lot of times they'll get foreign power in that yard. So you get a nice variety of colors. And of course, this was a few years back when they were actually running the old Burlington Northern Cascade Green
So
units.
this isn't North Yard. This is the one on the other side of I-25.
Yes, this is the one that's right down by Coors Field, which you can
So
kind of see
this
here.
is not the BNSF yard I took you to, John. It's across the road.
Yeah,
mean the
this
one
is
with-
it's actually the engine servicing facility.
Yeah. Okay. Amtrak goes right by this when you take it.
Yes. Correct.
Okay. That's a cool. I love the color in that.
Yeah. And sometimes we get foreign power, which when we do, it's a pretty rare treat to get Norfolk Southern or Canadian Pacific. And so I usually try to go out and get those as well. And if you can get them in a snowstorm, all the better.
That's really cool.
That's cool.
There's a number of great bridges around the Denver area. This actually is in Commerce City, and it's a bridge that spans what is normally a dry kind of arroyo type thing, and they run these tank cars from kind of a marshaling area down to back down to Denver from the Commerce City refineries.
Okay, I know where that is. Cool.
And again,
there's
it's
green
just,
on there.
what I like about snow is that again, you actually get to see some shapes of the motors that you don't really see, and I'll try to get to some.
He's got angry eyebrows.
I'll try to get to some steam shots that are pretty interesting because of how the snow falls over a steam engine. I have a Murano 4-wheel drive, so it gets me pretty much anywhere I want to go. I usually try to take a friend with me, and sometimes when they tell me you're crazy going out there, then I just have to continue to go out there. A couple Cascade green units that were working in the Denver yard. Again, I like this shot. This was before the light rail got built, or the commuter rail for RTD. So right now there's a big commuter rail overpass that actually also blocks your access to this yard anymore. So unfortunately, you can't really get these shots with the Denver skyline in the background.
That's neat.
This is again up on the Moffett line. If you could pull up the second video,
Sure.
that's a video that was also taken on the Moffett line of the California Zephyr coming through Tunnel 29 at Pine Cliff.
Nice weather.
Yeah, you wanted snow? This is snow. You can see it was coming down so hard, it's almost bouncing off the tops of the cars.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So you must have gloves on right before the train comes, right? I mean, you're not out there freezing to death.
No, I try to keep as warm as I can. Some of these places on the Moffett line, you're hiking in for a good hour to get to these spots. So you definitely want to dress warm.
So as soon as you hear the train, you're throwing your gloves off and getting your camera all ready?
Yeah, and you try to keep your camera from freezing up. I use a small Panasonic video camera, and sometimes I'm out, the temperatures in the mountains, they'll get to be, in the minus degrees, minus 10, minus 12 degrees. And you've got to be mindful that your batteries are going to get really drained quickly.
Do you ever get ice on your lens? Does it crystallize?
I actually keep my cameras in my coat until the train comes.
Keep
just
them
to
warm.
keep it off.
Okay.
I see a question here. How do you keep your batteries from dying? In my video cameras, I'll actually put my cameras in my pockets. And then if you're lucky enough to get some warning, you can pull them out, put them in, and hope you've timed it right. But there's been many a shots that either I've left the batteries in just thinking it's going to come and it doesn't, and the battery dies, or you actually can't get your video camera started in time, and the train will go by.
Wow. Oh, he's saying you need to keep your batteries in your armpit.
Okay.
I'm sure that's comfortable hiking.
Yeah, anything to keep them warm, and you'll extend the life. That's for sure. This is a little spot between Larkspur and Greenland where you've got some nice open fields and some S curves, which is fun to shoot. This is the old Valmont power plant up in Boulder. John Cressani's got some beautiful shots in here when there's a lot more snow than I found this day. And then I always try to take some photos and just pay homage to the workers that are having to be out in this snow. When they're getting out trying to clean switches, I'm sure it's not a fun job, and a lot of times you could tell, especially the yard workers, they are freezing when they're out there, but they have to do it.
Yeah.
This is
Gotta do it.
the crewman that came off of the Norfolk Southern, and I'm sure he was not very happy to be out in this. This was that type of snow that is so wet that it gets on your clothes and it instantly melts if you've got any warmth, and then you're really freezing.
Yeah, and it's heavy.
This is a steam engine at the Colorado Railroad Museum, and what I liked about this shot is that it really accentuates the lines of the steam engine that you might not, truly appreciate when you don't have snow. So whether it's on the Congdon smokestack or just kind of draping over the round boiler. Sometimes in snow you can actually find kind of some beauty in the shapes.
Can we go back? Can we go back for just a second? I want to point something out on this one to think about. So, and this is something that I deal with taking videos of these kind of engines all the time. Black on black really doesn't show detail. And by having this little layer of snow, it really shows where all the little seams and parts that poke out are. So that's really cool.
Yeah, it's a great point.
Please proceed, sir. I'm sorry.
A lot of times I'll shoot in black and white or convert it to black and white because there's just something about that contrast between, the especially a steam locomotive, and then the plumage that comes off of the steam locomotive when they're running. And this is another example of an engine. This is also at the Colorado Railroad Museum. This happens to be the last surviving regular scale, as opposed to narrow gauge, regular gauge Denver Rio Grande Western steam engine.
That's really pretty.
This was a number of shots that are coming up are of the big boy when it came into Denver. This was on their last leg of that big kind of inaugural run through the states, and it was in September, and we had an early snowfall in it. And as you can see, it wasn't really a snowfall; it was a blizzard, and it was amazing to catch. I chased the engine all the way up from Denver to Cheyenne just to not miss a chance of getting shots like this.
Did you see the question that popped up there, Derek?
Oh, I did not. I apologize.
It's basically asking if you only do snow. No, he does so much more.
Yeah, I every weekend I'm usually out. Maybe one of these times I could show you some of the sunrise shots that I have. I
You
think
should
Michelle
all
knows.
follow. You should all follow his Facebook page. If you're on Facebook, you should follow Derek Brown. Or do you have like a professional page you want him to follow, or just
I don't. I'm kind of a low tech guy in a high tech
like me?
world. So one of these days I'll figure something out.
You're also featured on that Steel Wheels page all the time. I see you in there and
Yeah, the
other
Friends of the
ones.
California Zephyr.
Yeah.
That's a good one if you want to see those sunrise shots.
Yep.
Well,
That's
I think we should have you back on to see the sunrise shots. I'm enjoying this.
We should do sunrise. That'll be a theme at some
I'd be
point. I'll have you
delighted.
come back.
There was so
Well-
much snow coming down this day that they actually had to, I think, have a escort to get through the yard. And it was one of those snowfalls that, you know, the first snow, and it was pretty amazing how deep the
It
snow
was-
piled up.
It was quite a blizzard. It really was. And it was fast and heavy. That's beautiful.
And there's just something about seeing a steam engine, and certainly the big boy, running through snow.
That's fantastic.
Wow.
After it got north far enough, this was just south of Spear Junction, and the sun actually came out, and so it kind of hit the best of both worlds. You get, you know, the beauty of the big boy and all those colorful UP cars, and actually some sun.
Yeah,
And
that's
this
nice.
is when it was actually coming under one of the unpasses just south of Spear. Again, just such a fun engine to catch because of its size.
That's a really cool shot. Oh, well, what do you know?
And here's my last shot. Sometimes you're out by the track and the train doesn't come. And then you try to find some other things to photograph. So this was a railroad spike that had a pretty cool little frosty cap on it. And so I leave this as the parting shot.
Yeah, that's really cool. Oh, looks like Michelle disappeared again. Let me see if she disappeared altogether. So it's just us now. She'll probably log back in here in a minute. That's really cool though, Derek. I really thank you for sharing these. I think that's, yeah, I haven't, well, I mean, you know, we had John Crisanti on, I think it was the last month, and he also shared some really amazing shots. And, you know, I'm thinking that you probably know a lot of the same people that I know, because I know guys from different places that do picture, you know, photography like you do. And I'm just curious. So I'm going to guess you probably know James Belmont, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And
I
you
tell
probably
you
know
what.
L. Ron Lawrence, right?
When I started photographing trains, I looked at all the heavy hitters, James and Mike Daneman, and you know, I ran around with some folks like Jeremy and Eric Lindgren, and you know, I learned a lot from them. I'm like, you know, all the other photographers that came before me. I learned from other folks, and then I try to put my own spin on it, whether it's, you know, these sunrise shots or, you know, being, you know, maybe knuckleheaded enough to go out in snow that nobody else might want to drive through. But those are the shots that I kind of like to set up for myself.
Yeah, I think it's cool though, because, you know, having somebody go out into the snow means that we get to see those shots without freezing our own butts off. So thank you for that.
Well, I've enjoyed showing the slides, and I appreciate all the comments that I've been watching on the screen. So yeah,
There's another one.
I appreciate.
Thank you for coming.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, Derek, your pictures just they bring me joy every day. Every day I get to see a photo you take. It's on some page on Facebook, and I love it. And I'm glad that my internet rebooted and I got to come back on the show and finish this with you.
Well,
But thank you for coming on. I'm sure you'll be back on here.
Thanks.
Yeah, I
I've
hope
got a buddy and myself named Sach, and we're going to be trying to bring some pretty amazing photography and video of the big boy runs that are going to happen this coming year or this year.
That's awesome.
So stay tuned for that.
That's cool. I'll be excited for that one. I'll have to have another picture right over here.
Yeah.
So there's still wall space. So,
Thank you
well,
so
thank you
much.
so much,
Yeah.
Derek. Yeah, that was great.
Thank you.
Can't top that tonight. So
Thanks
thank you for
again
the
for
snow.
having me
I
on.
loved it. Okay. See ya.
Cool. Well, we have some time at the end now, don't we? Because there's some
I know
people
we
that
did
want to,
good.
some people that want to come on and talk to you. I'm assuming they
Okay,
want to
we can
talk to
take
you.
some callers. Derek's fantastic. I hope you all agree that John Crisani, Derek Brown, these guys are just amazing photographers. So I'll
I
keep
really
bringing.
enjoyed that.
Yeah, that
I
was
really
great.
enjoyed that a lot. Yeah, that was really cool. Hey, I know we should have Derek and John both on, and they can like try to top each other. That would be a real treat, wouldn't it? Oh, that's awesome. So
I like the
yeah,
sunrise idea though. I think we should do sunrise on a locomotive as a show sometime. I
yeah,
really do
I
because I have my own shots. I go out before sunrise when I can.
yeah, I might even have some shots to share that are early day shots or sunrise shots. I don't know that
Great.
I have any that are specifically. There's one shot I can think of that I took in the production of the Ace Stockton to San Jose video, which was the Ace train coming past a place that the name escapes me now, but I think it's Midway. That's a really cool shot. Like the sunrise is coming up and it's a long oncoming shot.
Oh, cool.
And I was on the
Okay.
correct side. So it's a really cool shot.
I'm usually on the
Maybe I
wrong
can dig.
side, but I take the shot anyway.
Yeah, but you know what they do with sunrises and sunsets,
It's
though, you can usually get away with that kind of thing because you
right.
can say you were being artsy.
Yeah, that I'll
So,
roll with that.
yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
roll with that. I was being
yeah,
artsy.
artsy, yeah. So let me bring in Brandon. We haven't
Okay.
seen Brandon on the channel in a long time, and you'll see that he's prepared. Look at that.
Hi,
He's got
Brandon.
his little mask on and everything.
Yeah.
I'm prepared. Yeah. Hey. Oh, hold on. They're talking. Is that too loud for you guys?
Are you in
I
an
can hear you.
airport?
How you doing?
I am. Yeah. I'm at the Denver
Are you
airport
flying?
right now. I
Oh,
am.
okay.
Yeah. I usually don't wear this unless I'm at work.
I was gonna say you look like you're the pilot.
That's right. Yeah. So I just wanted to call you guys real quick and just say, Happy New Year. John, I don't think I talked to you in at least a few weeks. So Happy New Year to you guys. And Michelle, thank you for the that HO scale Santa Fe car. I managed to win that through Sparky's
Oh,
live stream.
oh,
Oh,
nice.
cool.
Okay.
So I got an email from Amy, and she said that she was mailing it out to me. So I appreciate
Yep.
that. And it's Dave as well, Sparky 107 107. Just want to shout out to him. Thanks for putting that whole thing together. It was awesome.
Cool.
Well, thank you, and thanks for watching and being involved, and for flying
Yeah.
us safely through the skies.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a little bit of weather here in Denver today, but it's not too
It's
bad.
ice.
And
It's ice. We have an ice storm here. Like it's bad. I don't know what it's like down there. I'm like
yeah,
50 miles away.
the airport's not too bad. There is some, freezing rain and stuff here, freezing drizzle, but we're able to de-ice and kind of just keep moving on. It just sort of delays stuff a little bit.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is it usually the pilot that comes on and says, "Welcome to San Jose. The weather is 68 degrees at 7:43 local time," all that stuff?
It is. Yeah.
Do you have to do that? Do you have something written for that, or do you have to just remember it, or do you just ad lib every time?
Yeah. I mean, you do it so many times per day that you just kind of get a process down and you just sort of memorize, what you're going to say. Sometimes you screw it up and you just got to unkey the mic, right? Words are falling out of your mouth. You're like, what am I saying to myself? Let me just unkey the mic real quick and start fresh, take a breath and start over again. But, it happens. The passengers aren't listening anyways.
Yeah, they're getting their stuff ready and taking their seatbelts off.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the flight attendants always call up to the flight deck and they're like, there's somebody standing up here.
Yeah.
All right, calm down, guys, relax. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much all. I just wanted to, call and say hi, stuff like that. I'm getting ready to go back home. So.
Oh, well, it's great to see you. I'm glad you called in, and don't be a stranger.
Awesome. Yes, thank you so much. Happy New Year, guys.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye. Cool. Uh-oh. Looks like Michelle disappeared again, and I did not kick her off the stream. So I'm going to bring up my buddy Robert and see what's on his mind till Michelle gets back. Hey, Robert, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah. For a while
good.
there were actually two of you in the basement.
That's my twin.
Yeah, the evil twin, right?
Yes.
So,
Well,
what's on your
we
mind tonight?
oh, I I like those pictures and all that bit, and it kind of brought me back memories when I was hogging on the UP,
Yeah.
and that's why you have a conductor. You know,
All right. Yeah, you get
switches.
off. You get off and throw that switch. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, I had one that had to dig out 13 switches, you know,
Yeah.
to get us through from Portland all the way up to Vancouver, and
Yeah.
he was knee deep and all that bit, and he's looking at me. He says, "What's going on?" I said, "Well, we're going up ahead here, and I bet you the dispatcher's going to say we have to go and dig and throw our switches." He goes, "No, no, we're good." I go, "Okay." We went on up there, stopped at the red, have permission to proceed at the single stain spot. Please dig out your switches. He did talk to me for a while.
Well, it wasn't your fault. Jeez.
No, I mean it took us 12 hours to get from Western Portland to North Vancouver to get relieved off our train.
How long would
And
that trip normally take?
you can go from 8 to 12 hours.
Okay.
But
So
with all that,
you were on the full 12 that day.
plus we were on duty for over 23 hours
Wow.
because they couldn't get a van to us where we're at, and where we're at, trees were crashing down and all this bit from the heaviness.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and I'm watching the snow on the windshield, and people don't understand, you know, you got your windshield and all this bit, and the snow just kept on, every hour kept on coming up, you know, and it's just filling up the nose of the engine. So when we finally got out, we were almost ankle deep. And so I told my conductor, just was pissed. He was just moving in the snow and all this bit. So I got up, because we tied everything down. I got up on the tracks where it's a little bit more level. So I'm moving along, and he goes, "That's not a bad idea." So he started coming up, you know.
Yeah.
Then,
That makes sense.
then the relief crew on that one got on. We swapped, got on. It was like 3 something in the afternoon. We started at 7 at night. So it was 3 something in the afternoon to go back to the hotel in Portland. They saw in there for 12 hours before another relief crew got a hold of them. So yeah, snow's fun
Cool.
when taking photographs, but
Well, you know, yes and no. I mean, yeah, you can get some really dramatic stuff, and those shots that Derek got were just amazing.
oh,
And
fantastic.
I've seen some really amazing, cool, not just photographs, but video too, of the snow fighting equipment up on Donner Pass. That's something that happens every year. Guys go out there and try to capture the snow trains. You know, they got the big rotary snow plow and the spreaders and all this really cool
Mhm.
equipment that they use. And when they get the rotary going, it shoots the snow, you know, 40, 50 yards off the track. It's pretty cool to see. And I've never seen that. It's like the one thing I haven't done, you know, fairly close to where I live that I could do, that I would like to do someday before I croak. But I'm also not a very snowy person. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I'll do it when it happens. You know, there's no big rush or anything to get out there. But I got to say, though, after seeing Derek's shots, it's actually inspiring to me to think of going out and getting shots like that, because there's just something about it. I think that there's something about the sound when you're in the snow. It's a totally different sound. Like everything feels kind of muffled. And there's something about the color and the light, because it's so evenly lit that to me, it's like, for a videographer, that's really beautiful light to try to shoot in. I mean, we wait all day for what's called golden hour, which is just after the sun dips below the horizon. And it's very even lighting for, you know, the next really 30 minutes, depending how good your camera is. You can get away with shooting for about almost an hour. And the snow light, you know, when it's stormy and snowy like that, is very similar, just because it's so diffused. So it's really cool.
Oh yeah, you can't
But
when we're plowing through the snow, we can't hear the wheels.
right, I believe it.
It's,
Yeah.
and you're right about the snow because I took some photographs of snow and all that bit with trains, and it's the greatest backlighting that you ever have for a photograph.
Yeah.
You know,
What's
it's beautiful.
what's nice about it to me is that there are no harsh shadows anywhere. And for video, that's a nice thing, because I'm always fighting with, well, I'm on the right side of the track, but the sun is still in the wrong place, and I'm still getting a shadow where I don't want it. But you don't have that in the snow. So or actually really in the rain too. Any overcast is good. But I'm gonna bring on Dave real quick here, because I'm still waiting for Michelle to show up. Are you gonna take off, Robert? That's cool.
No. I thought never mind. I want to talk to Dave too.
Oh, well, there he is.
Oh, hi, John. Hi, Robert.
You're famous
Hey,
again,
hi, Dave.
What's on your mind?
Well, I was going to ask Michelle some questions, since now I know that the Texas Museum has the other semaphore that John Crisani took a photo of.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, he has one and we have one, so it's a win.
Yeah.
Bookends.
Well, she sent me a message saying that she's trying to reboot her computer because her computer was telling her that there's no internet at all now.
Yeah,
So,
it's all the ice and snow that's happening outside by the museum, apparently.
Yeah,
that's
could
what
be.
I
I
was
don't
having
know.
problems. I was having problems in the December show.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at the screen right now, and Robert's completely blurred. So I think his connection's going on the fritz too.
Well, maybe. I wanted to share something with you guys real quick and with the audience here. And first, before I do it, I want to show you guys this shot again. It's still up here from when Derek was on. And it's this shot at a place called, I think they called it Blue Mountain. Right? I want to show you this one more time. And then I want to show you the shot that I took there when we were there last summer. That is just so cool.
Is that the Zephyr or the Builder?
That's the Zephyr, the eastbound Zephyr heading toward Colorado to Denver. And it's about to enter the Big Ten curves at this point. And I'm going to see if I can find it, because I think I still have it on my computer here, and it'll just take me a minute to find it.
If it's the eastbound Zephyr, then it's eventually heading toward me as its final stop.
It should be, yeah. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to step off camera here and grab the card. Hang on a second. I have a card sitting over here that probably has the video I'm looking for. Hang on.
That's okay. Actually, we'll just talk amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have no issues.
It's your guys' show
we have
here
no
for
issues.
a second while I do this.
It's the Rob and Dave show.
So Robert, I know they were talking about the big boy earlier about trying to head up to Seattle. As far as I know, I don't even know if it can go that far west.
No, they can't. One, it's BN trackage. Number two, it's a lot of sharp curves. Then you also have, because it's overhang, then you have what we call wide load restrictions on them. You know, big boy can pass a train that's on straight track, but up here we have a lot of curves. And it would be great. It would be nice. We have only one Y that could possibly turn it up here.
I mean, people out here keep asking, well, can't the big boy, instead of going out to the West Coast, come all the way out to the East Coast? Well, tiny problem. All the tracks for UP end in Chicago. It doesn't go beyond.
Well, it's due to the height restrictions when it comes, like if you get to the overhead. That's another thing too.
You mean the catenary, so the overhead catenary.
Yeah, but that's the reason why. That's why the reason Big Boy can't, because of its overhang. That's it.
Well, I mean, it should be able to it should be able to fit fine at our museum, because we do have a 600-volt catenary above, so it shouldn't have an issue, as far as I know.
Hey, can I show you the video? Hey, wait, this is my show. What are you guys doing talking over me?
Well, you vanished, so you said we could talk amongst ourselves.
Oh,
but that's
I changed my mind.
The final thing is they have to negotiate with BN, and they have to go through a whole rigmarole. That's how the 4449 and the 8444 finally got up to Seattle area. So, because a lot of even going through the gorge, they redid the trackage for freight, not for passenger, when the Pioneer left.
I gotta get teeth. Thank you. I'm coming right. Hold on.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Or
I'm
John
just-
took care of it
I'm-
faster than me.
I'm taking care of a couple messages there, Dave, that you probably were also looking at. So
Yeah, I just noticed you just 2 seconds after I saw it
yeah,
because there's
so
a
let me
delay
bring up
here.
this. I want to bring up this other video from.
I want to see it. Yeah.
I
Okay,
think
we've
I called
seen
it.
this one.
Yeah, I
We've
think I
seen
called it
this
Blue
one.
Mountain, but it's Green Mountain. At least it's Green Mountain on my video. That
At
I
least it's
called
a
it that.
color, John.
Yeah, well, let's just call it Red Mountain. But you'll recognize it from basically the same place. Let me scoot it forward a little bit. Now, they were going a little bit slower this time when I was there, and there's no snow at all. But that's what it looks like in August, what we're seeing right now.
Well, it looked like they did some tamping and all that, but he might be on a slow order.
Could be, yeah. Could be. I don't really know. I don't know what the work was on the week leading up to this, but
In the summertime, the work is all over the place. You
yeah.
wouldn't believe the pages and pages of work orders and slow orders I have to go through.
Sure.
You guys heard the news that the Friends of the 261 took over Silvis?
I saw that. That's exciting.
No.
The Friends of the 261 took over Silvis. Since Silvis closed, they took over, and now they've got more shops, more room to expand, and they can store their whole entire fleet down there instead of scattered around in the other parts of the U.S.
Yeah, very cool. You know, I have to mention, because the framing is so bad now on this shot, I actually had 3 or 4 other cameras on this day, and they had better shots than this. This was really framed for this oncoming part of the shot. But it gets bad around here.
I like to know when
I
in
need
New
to figure out how to
Mexico.
get rid of that. There it goes.
Yeah, I'd like to know in New Mexico when they're going to get the Santa Fe 2926 up and running. I know they did a fire up on it. That would be a neat engine to see run, and see it double head with the 3751. That would be
Yeah,
be
John can do
choice.
that.
That's
I don't
Santa
have
Fe.
access to boot or ban.
Yeah. Yeah, the 29 20, what is it? 2926 or 2629?
I will
2926, right? Yeah. That would be kind of cool to see that, but I mean, is
yeah, in New
3751 even running anymore? I'm not sure that they're allowed to.
What, the one that's in
They used to run out to San Bernardino every year, but I don't think they've done that in quite some time now.
I know there's a steamer at Fort is it Fort Atkinson? Yeah, Fort Madison in Iowa. There's a steamer in front of
Oh.
the
No.
Kingsley
what
Inn.
what I'm talking about is in Southern California.
No.
Yeah, it's the Santa Fe 3751. It's the San Bernardino Historical Railroad Group or something like that. And I caught it when it was going through the Tehachapi and all that bit at my time, especially with the help of my brother Bill, who was a California highway patrolman, so he knew all the spots and to get photographs. And that's about the only time. There was a couple other times it ran, but I don't know. I don't know if they did the 50th anniversary of the Union Station and went in there, but I haven't heard any rumblings. But I mean, that would be the ultimate rail fan shot of double heading those two engines. Because the 2926 group has been over on the 3751 training on their engine to work their engine.
That makes sense.
The only thing
guys, I got bad news. I got a message from Michelle that it's still not working. So we're going to have to close this without her.
That's okay.
Yeah. So I want to think,
what's next?
What's what?
I just want to know what's next show is so I can prepare.
So next month's topic is going to be how Michelle survived the Amherst show.
Probably, yeah, because she's going to be busy again, right? So I do want to mention though a couple of things. Oh, wait a minute! Oh, no way!
Oh my God! It finally
I just got done
connected.
telling everybody. I just got done telling everybody you weren't coming back.
And then it worked. Sorry. That
So,
made
then
me
you
how happy
got all the
Dave
ice
was.
off, right, Michelle?
I'm so glad I forgot to show you guys something, so we can end with that if you want to.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
When I was at BNSF, I got this awesome little piece of paper like this, and when you open it up, it's a punch-out train. And so I got a few of these. So I made one. Look at my paper train. How
Oh,
cute
wow.
is
Oh,
he?
cool.
I thought it was super neat. So
Right.
I thought
And
I
for
wanted to
anybody
show
who
everyone.
was, for anybody who was doubtful
I
earlier
wonder
when you
what
said that
what
you're
Stacy
nerdy.
would say about that
Oh.
Michelle. Maybe that can give her
About
some
this?
ideas. Yeah.
This is when they came out with their logo. When did BNSF come out with this new logo on there? This one.
Well, like in
Because-
early
God, that was-
2000s, I think.
Because that's what this
Yeah.
comes from. So this is old for them, which is probably why she gave me like 6 of them when I went to their headquarters. Because it says more progressive, more vital, more approachable, more resourceful, and then you open it up and it says and more punch, and then you got a punch out train, and it's talking
Yeah,
about their new logo. So
Yeah, the swoosh, as they call it, came out roughly in
So, Michelle, when you go out to
2012 or all
Amherst,
that.
say hi to my friend Paul. You'll see him at the Cotto booth.
oh, I know Paul. Yeah, I'll say hi to Paul. Will do. So I'm so glad I got to come back, and I'm sorry
Yeah.
it's at the very end. Thank you guys for watching. It was great.
And
Thanks
tune
for
in next
coming.
month where Michelle will give us an update on how the Amherst show went and who she
And
ran
how
into.
she survived.
I will. We
Yeah.
can do that. And the next show next month, I wanted to talk about operations, unless something comes up that bumps that a month.
Oh,
But I wanted to talk
yeah,
about different types of operations.
Let's talk about that. I'm going to let you guys go, and then we're going to close our show. Okay. Thanks,
Okay.
guys.
See you guys.
Thank you. So yeah, let's talk about the next show, because you mentioned that earlier when we were talking that you wanted to do something about operations, and that's kind of up my alley because I know a bunch of people, I guess myself included, who are into operations. So it might be interesting.
I think it will be. I definitely learned some lessons. I did my first operating with more of a track warrant system and touch screens, which was really cool. And then I did true cards, like the
Mhm.
old fashioned car cards. And I don't think I would have survived it without Speed being there to help me. So
Right?
lots of things. I want to hear from our viewers what they like to do, like what their preferences are. So, and what we do at the museum is completely different than both of those. So I learned
Mhm.
a lot in Texas. So
Yeah.
next month.
I think that's great. And I think that'll be a fun conversation that people can be, that we can include other people on too. Maybe we'll do
Yeah.
more call-ins for that one, but I do want to mention a couple of things. Is there anything else, Michelle, coming up that you want to plug before we go?
No, because I'm getting ready to pack a bag and go to Amherst. So I'm
Okay.
good. I'm good.
Okay. Well, thank you for, again, taking the time to be here and do the show again. I always have fun catching up with you. Like I was saying earlier, I mean, this is the one time that I get to talk to you every
I know
month.
we talk once a month, so that's
Yeah.
a pretty good friendship right there. So
Well, at least for sure, right? I mean, there are people
Yeah.
that I'm friends with that I don't talk to once a month, so I guess that's pretty good. But I
Yeah.
do want to mention also, we talked earlier to Mike about the what I'm calling the SIG meet. I think the official name for it is like the Bay Area Layout Design and Operations Weekend or something like that.
It was in chat. You can find it in chat. It's
Oh,
long, but yeah.
actually, I have
Oh,
it
it's
in
right
my
there. Bay Area Layout Design and Operations Weekend Meet.
Yeah, that's the one. And I do want to mention that we're going to have an entire show, in case it's not clear what it is and what we're trying to do, because then it's a little bit confusing. I mean, I know what's going on, and it's still a little bit confusing for me. So we're going to have an entire show dedicated to that event this Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific, so that if anybody has any questions, watch that show and you can ask questions in the chat, and everything will be crystal clear. You can go to the link that Heath has posted, I've also posted in our chat here.
Okay.
And that will also tell everybody what it is and how it's going to work. And also keep in mind that we're still kind of up in the air about this whole in-person thing with COVID making this ridiculous surge suddenly. So we don't know for sure exactly how it's going to happen, but if the in-person one were to not be able to happen, it's okay because we're already doing it completely virtual also as well. Or also as well is kind of redundant, isn't it?
Yeah, Mr.
We're also
English
doing
lesson.
Yeah, well,
Our
yeah.
viewers don't know it, but anytime I find a funny like grammar meme, I send it to John because he's like the king of grammar.
Well, sorry. I'm the guy that says you spelled your wrong. You used the possessive with the you know, without the apostrophe when you really meant to say you are, which is the one with the apostrophe, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apostrophes are yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's great that you guys are doing a show Saturday so that people
Yeah.
can understand the future. So
Yep.
the San Francisco Bay Area Layout Design and Operations Weekend. That's
Yeah,
a
let's put
long
it
name.
put it on the chat. I know, right? That's why I call it the
Put it up
SIGMeet.
there so Michelle doesn't have to keep reading all of it.
Yeah, I can actually remember SIGMeet, but I can't remember San Francisco Bay Area Layout Design and Operations Weekend. Oh my goodness. So anyway, that'll do it for us. I guess this always happens. I'm caught flat-footed. I didn't have my end ready. By the way, Michelle, did you notice that we have a new intro? You didn't
We
even
have a new
notice, did you?
No, I probably didn't
Yeah,
notice. I'm so
that little
sorry.
intro video that we play in the beginning is slightly different. I updated it this
Okay.
past
I'll
week.
watch it next month. Actually, I can go back and
Yeah,
watch the recording.
I think I updated the end also to say 2022 on it, but I don't remember.
Okay.
So we're gonna find out together. So
I'm usually trying to
Thanks,
finish whatever dinner I'm eating quickly before the show
Yeah.
starts.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you,
And
everybody.
I'll see you in a minute, Michelle.
Okay, see you, everybody. Thanks for joining tonight.
Yep. Bye-bye.